Greetings, EPG. This is Saturday, January 30th, 2021, and I want to give you a update on the junior high building project today. So, for those of you who have not been heads down in planning this project, you may not have been thinking about it all the time. So, to refresh everyone's memory, back in March, we had a referendum on the ballot to build a new junior high. And the plan is to build a new junior high on the current campus without increasing the tax rate. And so we took that to the ballot, and over 80% of the voters of EPG approved that referendum. So we began getting to work. And so the big pieces from the community input sessions we held, the things that really guided the work as we began planning this new junior high, were that we wanted to create a secure one building school for the junior high students. We wanted to provide separation for the grades since we have all of our 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We know there's a big difference between a 5th grader and an 8th grader. So building a structure that really kept those grade levels mostly by themselves and mostly separated throughout the junior high was a priority. We wanted to make sure that we have a facility that provides gym space for activities that we could continue to offer all the same programming, and also one that provides an accessible space for our community to come in and see events. And so that was something that mattered as we were doing the work. And we also heard from the community that it was a big deal that the tax rate would remain level. And so with those things in mind, we have been getting to work. So this is a picture of the junior high campus. And as you think about the new school is really going to be built about half on the football field and half into the parking lot. So the entrance of the new school will be right about here, is where those main front doors will be. And if you want to think about where it will sit, you can think really the new school will run between 4th Street and 3rd Street in Gridley. There'll be a parking lot here, and then the new school will sit kind of between those streets, really at the end of that block. If you want to think about a visual, this picture this morning, I went up and took a picture standing on top of the 5th, 6th building and kind of looked back toward the football field, toward the parking lot. And I took this picture because the plans are that this view in the fall of 22 will look more like this. And so as you begin to think about what the parking lot looks like now, what the football field looks like now, right here, kind of right around where that fence juts out is where the entry to the new building will be, and that will look more like that in 2 falls. And so that's exciting to see. It's exciting to see that new facility, and wanted to just give you a picture of what that looks like. So last summer and fall, after the referendum had passed, we began the preliminary planning for the new junior high. This winter, we are working out finalizing the bid packages, and those things will go out to bid. We'll secure who's going to do the work so that really the May, June, right around the end of school, we'll break ground on the project. During next school year, so the 2021 and the 2022 school year, we'll be doing the work of building the new school while the school year is going on. Then, when we get to the summer of 22, we'll begin deconstructing the current junior high, building the parking lot so that in the fall of 22, we're ready to open up the doors to the brand new EPG junior high. And so I want to give you a few pictures of what that junior high might look like. And so we're still working out some of the details, but based on where we are, these renderings by the architects are helpful. And so shout out to Farnsworth Group Architects and the construction managers at Core Construction. Those are our 2 primary partners in the work, and they have been great to work with as we continue planning the new facility. And so you'll see we have this main entry. And so this is the front entrance, right when you kind of check in at the office and then walk in. This is the lobby, but also the cafeteria. The gyms would be off to the left, and the classroom spaces primarily would be off to the right. This is the general look for the classroom. Now, we're going to work hard to reuse as much furniture as we can for the current facility so that our money and the taxpayers' money is really going into the construction of the best new building possible. This gives you an idea of what that new building is going to look like. If you're in the classrooms, if you're walking down the halls of the classroom wing, we'll have a science lab that'll be shared between 5th and 6th grade, and another one that'll be shared between 7th and 8th grade, so we can take some of those learning experiences to the next level. And we also have a learning center upstairs that kind of the library of what we used to think of to provide that space there. Here's a rendering of what the EPG junior high gym will look like. And then there will be a secondary multi-purpose room gym that'll be able to play volleyball, basketball, wrestling. We'll kind of use that as their home base. And that facility would be just next to this current gym. So what the process entails, we began dreaming and thinking and planning everything that we wanted. And when those came back, some cost estimates, a little bit more analysis, we realized there are a few things we need to do to reduce some costs. Some of the land buildup was going to be more expensive than we thought when you consider the amount of black dirt and just the way some different things lay as the architects got into it. And so that caused us to realize that if we would move from a 1-story to a 2-story, move the location east where there's already a concrete, so already a little bit, or there's some parking lot there, the concrete would create a firmer base. It would involve less fill. If we do that and then change the exterior from brick to precast, there would be a substantial savings. And so we've done that and are really optimistic that bids should come in a good place and build a really great facility for our students. And so we'll continue with that process. One of the things we also want to talk about is that as we went through this process all along, we were going to work really hard to gather in some state funding with a state grant, knowing that we can't always depend on the state of Illinois. And so we were proceeding in a way that we could build it with our funds without raising the tax rate, but really felt like we had a good chance to bring in some of that state revenue. A lot's changed since March. And the state has spent a lot of money on a lot of other things as we walk through the pandemic and different things. And so the likelihood of that money being available is almost zero. That being said, it does not change our project and what we're planning to do, because we've been planning from the get-go to be able to do this with taxpayer dollars, with local property tax dollars, without raising the tax rate. And so we'll continue on that course. We continue to look at the bid packages and work on some things. I'm thankful to our staff at EPG, as JT Carr and the facilities and maintenance crew have really looked at the plans and pulled out things saying what they could do and what we could take care of internally to save money, to reduce the scope of the project, and to make sure we do the best job we can of building a junior high that will serve our students well and that our community will be proud of for years and years to come. And so we are excited as we continue the work to build our new junior high. And in the fall of 22, we hope you will come out and celebrate with us as our students enter a building that looks about like that, to learn and to grow. So, thanks for checking in. We hope this update is useful. We'll continue to share more information as we walk through the process of building the new EPG junior high.